Welcome to Friday Night Ghost Frights. This is Haunted Road Media, and I'm your host, author and ghostorian Mike Ricksecker. Some may not believe the things I'm about to describe, but I assure you that everything I'm about to tell you is absolutely true. It is up to you, dear viewer, as to whether you believe me or not. Over the years, I've had a number of interesting experiences within cemeteries and even some legitimate paranormal tales. Probably one of the most prevalent was Lima Cemetery out in Oklahoma. This was a follow-up of an investigation that we had done at a home in the area, and the homeowner had actually suggested going and checking out this cemetery. So after our investigation, we went down there. Some of the investigators decided to hang back. They were a bit uncomfortable with this particular cemetery. We had captured a couple of EVPs there, such as "You Go Around Me" and "Do Not Go Down There," which we thought may have referenced the small hill that was within the cemetery. But probably the most prevalent experience for me at Lima Cemetery was after I had already stepped outside of it and I was looking back in from the gate in one of the posts that was nearby. Our psychic medium of the group at the time, who had decided not to venture into the cemetery, called out from over by the car and said, "Hey Mike, there's a ghost over by you right now." So I looked into the cemetery and I did what I usually do, introduced myself, said that my name was Michael, and asked whom I was speaking with. Here's a clip of that interaction.
Can I ask you who you are? I'm Michael. Can I ask you who you are? I'm Michael.
I do enjoy visiting cemeteries and admiring the craftsmanship of the decorative headstones and just the overall peacefulness that you observe there. When I go out to Illinois, Shauna and I will visit many cemeteries along our adventures. She'll pick up the decorations that have fallen and we'll make observations about the families and people that are buried there within the cemeteries. On one such occasion at Rosehill Cemetery, I was recording a segment in which I had made a observation about a particular family and the order in which they had unfortunately passed away. I'll provide that clip here. It's not all the time that you get a full family like this, and there may be others that are a part of it, but here we have mother and father born in the 1840s. Then over here, very sad, we have three boys. James, who died at age 6, born in 1872, died in 1881. Joseph, who died when he was 7, born in 1871, died in 1878. And then John, who died as a baby in 1877. So probably some sort of epidemic at the time. But on the other side, you have the two girls. Annie, born in 1874, survived long into adulthood, died in 1949. And then Mary Manelli Converse, married, born in 1875, again lived through adulthood, died in 1952. So it's pretty interesting that the boys perished at a young age, the two girls survived. While I don't have a recording of it because I had stopped filming, directly afterward, while we were walking away, we heard a distinct noise from behind us. I had remarked that unless there was a creek down the small hill and a bullfrog that had made some sort of sound from there, I didn't know what it was. Shauna had remarked that the noise was directly behind us from where we had just been filming. So perhaps this was an acknowledgement by the family of what we had just observed. Another interesting tale I encountered while researching one of my books, Ghosts of Maryland, was the missing cemetery at one of the Snowden homes. The Snowden family was very prominent in Maryland several hundred years ago, and they have a number of homes scattered throughout the Anne Arundel and Prince George's County area. One of these homes was called Oakland's, and when I went to visit it, it had grown derelict and was in the middle of renovation. The surrounding land around it had been sold off to developers, but before they could develop on the land, they brought out an archaeological team because they had heard of a family cemetery being on the premises. Well, they searched and they searched. They found remnants of an old barn, bones of horses, but they could not find this cemetery. Without having found it, they decided to build the development anyway. So it's very possible that one of these homes around this old mansion is built on top of the old family cemetery, and nobody knows it. Finally, to conclude my cemetery ghost stories, is that of Black Bear Cemetery, just across the dirt road from the old Black Bear Church, which is now run down and decrepit, abandoned long ago. Ironically, the church seems to be very dark, extremely haunted at this point in time, and was featured on my ghost story as Church of Darkness. I've also written a ghost story and case file, which is in my book, Ghost Story and Case Files, called Mysteries of the Church of Darkness. But the cemetery across the road seems a bit lighter in nature, and not so sinister. Someplace that people would typically think creepy, not. Well, there are 2 EVPs I caught in this cemetery, of which I've talked about numerous times over the years. One of which was a confirmation of an observation that I had made. Not just a sound from behind me. In fact, I didn't catch this later until I was reviewing audio. I had made an observation that there were 2 headstones for the same person. And the confirmation that I received on my audio recorder was the word correct.
There's a second marker for John right here from the Navy. So he's got 2 markers. So he's got 2 markers. So he's got 2 markers.
On another occasion that I was at Black Bear Cemetery, the group was leaving, and the other 2 members that I was with had gone to the car. I decided to make one last round through the headstones, and caught on my audio recorder the most bizarre EVP that I have to date. And what it told me was, my teeth are warm. Have no idea what that means, but I was the only one there in the cemetery at the time that I caught it.
My teeth are warm. Warm. Warm.
So while there may be a number of people that claim you won't catch paranormal activity at a cemetery because the spirits won't be there near their bodies, I disagree. I've had many paranormal experiences at cemeteries, but I'm also respectful to the spirits while I'm there. Thank you for watching Friday Night Ghost Frights. Please let me know what you think of this episode in the comments below. And if you have not yet, please subscribe. I'm Mike Ricksecker. Until next Friday night.